Okay, my name is Matt Marvuglio, and I'm the Dean of the Performance Division here at Berklee College of Music. And as Dean of the Performance Division, I'm responsible for all of the instrumental instruction, as well as ensembles and ear training. Also, we have a performance major, and of the 4,000 students that we have at Berkeley, 750 of these students are performance majors. You know, the first time I found out about IASJ was through Dave Liebman. Of course, you know, I've known Dave for a number of years, maybe 20 plus years or whatever, and I've learned about the organization through him. And as you know, he's such a force in jazz as an educator as well as a performer and a composer that I think he's brought a lot of credit to the organization. And he's been a wonderful spokesperson for the organization, where I think a lot of schools, colleges who have jazz programs, I would imagine, should belong to the IASJ. Yes, in 2001 there was an IASJ meeting here at Berkeley. Berkeley hosted it. Dave Liebman was the artistic director. A number of our faculty participated in the clinics. I think it was a big hit, actually. At that time, I think it was Larry Monroe and Rob Rose were the ones who hosted it. At that time, Larry Monroe was the dean of the performance division, and I took over his spot, actually. And I remember it to be really exciting. Everybody had a great time. We utilized the recording facilities very well, and it was a blast. It was really a lot of fun. Everybody really enjoyed it. This IASJ meeting is going to be hosted by the Berkeley Global Jazz Institute. And with the Berkeley Global Jazz Institute, our artistic director is Danilo Perez. And he and I put together this institute, I think this is 5 years now, 5 years of the Global Jazz Institute. And, Roger Brown, the president, came to me and said, hey, we should really do an improv institute, an improvisation institute of some sort. And so who do you think should be the director? And right away we thought Danilo. So Danilo and I really talked about this for about 2 years before we came up with the whole notion of the Global Jazz Institute. And we thought a lot, too, about the title and what it should be about. And global jazz, for us, is like a very broad spectrum of different kinds of world musics with jazz and how different kinds of music fuse with jazz. And I think how the Global Jazz Institute is different is that there's a full array of instruments, from quattro to harp to harmonica, which makes it a very exciting kind of program. And instead of it being an elite kind of program, what we try to do is teach students to be leaders in jazz and to actually work within the community and help people where they learn about the world through the lens of music and through improvisation. And so far, I think there's about 40 students in the program now, and they're very excited about IASJ coming to Berkeley. I think it's a really good kind of relationship to have here. So, the question is, where is jazz education going? Where has it been? What's the future of jazz? I think when you look at music through history, there's always been different kinds of patrons, whether it be the nightclub, whether it be the church, whether it be, stadium music, whatever. I mean, when you look at Bach and all the improvisers, when I think about jazz, I think it goes back to all those great improvisers and different kinds of world music and the combinations of different kinds of things. And where we are right now, it seems to be the biggest patron for jazz is the educational system. We are looking at programs, different schools. It's more alive than ever in educational institutions. And I think what's happening is there's becoming a broader spectrum of people wanting to learn how to improvise. You know, when you think about jazz, I think it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, from swing to bebop to free playing and all these other things. I think, if anything, the jazz language is spreading into different kinds of music. And hopefully we'll see jazz become ubiquitous where it is in different kinds of music, where even now it's very difficult to define. When we thought about the Global Jazz Institute here, it was trying to create a title or a brand where it's like global jazz. What is global jazz instead of jazz? And what was very interesting about it is that it created a broader spectrum of what jazz could be, rather than narrowing it down to like it's swing or it's bop or this. But what I see now, I would hope that jazz becomes broader, where you start seeing jazz influences in all different kinds of music, I think, which is what's happening. You know? I love the idea of looking at the world through the lens of music, but not only the lens of music, but the lens of jazz. You know, when you think of improvisation and all the other different elements that go on with jazz. I think what organizations like Berkeley, IASJ can help do is make us all citizens of the world, where we feel like we're citizens of the world and not really simply in our own pocket or in our own country or whatever. And I think with technology and with blending these organizations and hosting conferences, I think it brings us all closer together. And I think this next IASJ with the Global Jazz Institute hosting it will give us a really fine experience to really share these things together. Looking really forward to it.